I took the greatest risk of my career in 2020 when I decided to leave my $30,000 a year job because in my head it was an opportunity cost and the thing that's keeping me from earning $30,000 a month, right? In my head, I was like, if I'm spending all my time and all my attention on a $30,000 a year opportunity, then how can I claim that I want to be making $30,000 a month? That reasoning gave me enough courage to give up on that job. And something magical happens when you decide to go all in and decide to bet on yourself like I did in 2020. It's like the universe ends up wanting to reward you for your courage. And over the last few years, I got lucky and have been able to generate over $15 million, which is more than I ever fathomed or even aimed for. Today in 2026, I believe it's time for me to make another decision to go all in on something new, which is, can one person build a one-person company that generates not just $1 million a year, but eventually be able to scale it past $1 million a month? I've acquired enough scale and enough judgment that I actually know how to go from 0 to 10K per month to 100 grand a month and eventually pass $1 million a year. And I'd like to document and share the entire journey with you. But before I do that, I thought I'd drop the most important AI masterclass you'll ever get to see on YouTube, which goes over everything we've learned over the last 18 months of launching hundreds and hundreds of AI agencies and AI consulting businesses, going after every single niche you can think of. We've built countless of businesses doing 50 grand, 100 grand, 200 grand a month in local boring businesses, like going after dental practices, HVAC businesses, med spa, aesthetic clinics, going after real estate investors, and also going after online service businesses like agencies, coaching businesses, info product businesses, software companies. Our ability to oversee so much success and so much failure in every single niche you can think of allowed us to be able to build a playbook to essentially win in every single vertical niche that you can think of. But that did something infinitely more important, which is that once we know how to win in every single niche, then we can actually productize and codify how to win in every single market. And this is the thing that led us to building the first AI operating system that allows someone to become an AI growth architect, where you can leverage agents to go find the truth, agents to build assets, and agents to fulfill for your clients. And that operating system, of course, became TriCook AI, which is where we now launch, scale, operate every single AI service business that we launched today for all of our partners. Our discoveries over the last 18 months led us to our biggest month where we did almost $1 million in cash collected in less than 5 weeks. And in this masterclass, I'd actually like to do something a little different, something completely different from what everybody else is doing on YouTube. Instead of showing you the opportunity to make money, I actually want to show you how to avoid failure. I'm going to start by going over, why is everyone struggling in this AI race? How is it possible that we have this technology that can allow you to make miracles happen, but yet every single person that I know is struggling to monetize this technology? And the reason why that's the most valuable thing that I can share with you is because that's how I learned to win. I learned to win by avoiding failure. You avoid failure long enough and you win by default. My only request for you, my only ask is that you commit to watching the full thing, and if possible, share it with a friend or 2 or 5 and tag me on your Instagram as you're watching this masterclass. At the end, a tiny percentage of everyone watching this is going to be interested in moving forward and actually being able to take action on everything that I shared in this masterclass and actually wanting to launch and scale their own AI offer online. If that is you, I'd like you to DM me the keyword START on my Instagram. Would love to learn more about, are you launching something new, or are you already operating in business that's already successful, making millions of dollars every single year, and you're trying to figure out how to pivot into an AI assisted, AI enabled business and be able to put together a personalized roadmap on how we actually would help you launch and scale in this new paradigm. Or if you want, you can also just find the link to apply below this video if you just want to go ahead and speak with someone right away. So me or my team can build you a personalized roadmap on a one-on-one call instead of wasting time chat going back and forth. Now that I've set the right expectations for this masterclass, I'd like to invite you to please sit back, relax, and please enjoy. But most importantly, you owe it to yourself to be great and make 2026 the greatest year of your life. Take care. I decided to call this workshop the beginning of infinity because I believe that entrepreneurship is going to be a path that's actually viable. And in today's workshop, I'm going to go into how to build wealth generating AI native agencies and firms with TriCook AI. For those who don't know me, my name is Serge Gatari. I'm the founder of clientacquisition.io and now also the founder of TriCook AI. In this workshop, I want to do something that 99% of AI gurus or really just any business expert can't. A real transformation and case study of fully going AI native with your service business. As you guys can see in this screenshot, I was running clientacquisition.io and I pivoted into an AI first operating kind of like model, and we scaled the business to $940,000 in revenue in just 5 weeks from just $150,000 in advertising spend. The most valuable thing I can provide you with today isn't a walkthrough of the technical architecture that made it possible for us to make this happen. It will be the observations and insights, beliefs that gave me the courage 18 months ago to put everything on the line to pursue a future that was not guaranteed. Because 18 months ago, when we started diving deep into AI, what I'm going to show you guys today was not even something that we could fathom achieving. Okay? A future where I could run a one-person company that generates $1 million a month and more that is fully operated by AI agents. Infinitely scalable as long as I have electricity and compute instead of depending on human labor. If you guys are operating businesses, you guys know how tough it is to run a people business, okay? 80% gross margins like a software company and 95% revenue retention, clients that never churn because work is done 24/7, done for them. Making this possible changes the rules of entrepreneurship. You no longer need to sacrifice trade your life for success. Traditionally, the most successful people were the ones that were willing to give up and sacrifice their life. If we have a lot of successful people on this call, you guys know your schedule, so we don't need to go deeper on that. I know my schedule, right? But most importantly, you no longer need to cap your dreams and wealth goals based on your current capabilities, skills, scale, time, or resources. In order to achieve this, we had to find a solution to solve three problems keeping every single operator, agency, consultant, integrator from going AI native and actually getting paid millions to do it. First problem I'm going to solve for you guys is how do you sell something for tens of thousands of dollars that anyone can access for free or for $20 a month? That's problem number one. AI is a commodity, so how are we able to monetize it as a premium service? The second thing is how do you find the market that's already paying for these outcomes instead of gambling and guessing your way into failure? The third thing is how do you get agents running 90% of fulfillment so clients pay you more the less you work? My goal today is to give you the answer to all these three questions and make it unreasonable for you not to go through the same transformation we went through. So welcome to what I call the new era of wealth creation. I'm no AI guru, guys. I'm a growth consultant for the last 4 or 5 years. And, even though I showed you guys this almost $1 million a month, we've been doing numbers like these way before AI, right? Doing six figures in a single day. But the thing that made us pay attention to AI was it actually in 2023. We had this client, he was a 16-year-old kid. As you guys can see, he was born in 2007. His name is Wyatt. Came to us, right? And he had been integrating these voice agents. Even I had not necessarily paid attention to AI voice agents back then, but he was making, 2 to 5 grand a month, charging $500, maybe at most $1,000 per implementation. And he needed a way to build an acquisition system to help him get more leads and more appointments for his agency. And the first thing that we did, we're like, well, if you're making $500, $1,000 per job, you're not going to build a business. You're not even going to be able to afford to hire people. So we followed our blueprint, which is we turn everything we do that is commoditized into an infrastructure. We have a way to build and release systems. So we restructured his offer and his way of selling. And he went from charging $500 for each AI system to $12,000. And he sold it to a real estate investor who had a bunch of leads that he needed to essentially convert and get them to show up. That was the first win. I was like, how is this possible? 3 months later, so March 26, 2024, he had just scaled past his first $50,000 in cash collected in a single week. And as any young man, you make a little bit of money and you want to go buy all the nice cars, right? Now, why am I sharing with you guys this case study? The reason why you should care about AI, regardless of the current business you're in, has nothing to do with AI itself or the fact that you can run your company without having any employees and have agents do all the work. The only time where I've seen a founder go from making 2 to 5K per month to $50,000 in a single week in months is when they're giving the market what the market wants at the time that the market wants it. I've seen some of the smartest and hardest working entrepreneurs spend 5 years, 10 years, their entire lifetime into a venture that only just literally sucks the soul out of their body. And all they experience is failure because they're fighting an uphill battle because they never ask themselves, am I selling what the marketplace desires? I, on the other hand, have internalized this transformation so deeply that I made it literally our business. And anytime I see something winning, I embrace it with everything I have. So about 20 months ago, after we saw this transformation, we went all in on launching and scaling AI service firms, agencies in most of the 70
niches that we already were into over the last 4 years, right? So we have almost a library of 1,000 deals since pivoting that we've closed into all of these niches. Deals from $20,000, 2.5K, $16,000 in every niche you can think of. We're going after insurance agents. We're going after real estate market. We're going after dental practices scaling to $200,000 a month, these AI firms. We're going after more clinics, selling doctors these growth solutions for $15,000. They're paying 50% upfront. We're going in the Spanish market, charging more money than most people would charge in a Spanish market because their currency isn't that strong. But still, booking 586 calls in a single month, closing 63 new clients in Spain. We're going in the UK market. We're in the info space. We're going after med spas. We're going after more real estate people, but in the Quebec market. We're going after law firms. We're going after HVAC. We're going after mining companies. We're going after Amazon brands. We're going after consultants. We're going after e-commerce niches and all the way to restaurants, which is probably a niche that I wouldn't recommend anyone to go after, but we've been able to validate an $11,000 deal, which our clients were struggling to be charged £500 a month for, right? Having been in business for over 4 years, launching and scaling agencies and consulting businesses online, I've never personally seen growth like this. And most importantly, the ability to charge 5,000, 15,000 for something that is technically free. Now, before we dive in, I want to address the elephant in the room. You guys have probably been on a ton of these workshops, webinars, masterclass, where the person on stage pretends to teach you something valuable, but the whole time they're really just setting up for a pitch. And you spend entire 90 minutes half listening, half trying to figure out, hey, what is it going to sell? What is the price? This isn't that. I'm going to tell you right now exactly what I sell, what exactly it costs, and exactly who it's for, so you can stop running the thoughts, the calculation in the back of your mind, and actually focus on what I'm teaching. Our main business, Client Acquisition.io, builds AI growth infrastructures for companies. We come in, understand the bottlenecks of a business, then build systems, agents to actually help you run your fulfillment and acquisition, and we hand you back a business that runs on compute instead of headcount. We call it the 90-day agentic transformation. Working with us starts at $25,000 to install the infrastructure and 5K a month to manage, plus performance essentially tied to the growth that we create in someone's business. By the end of today, you're going to have everything that we know around building and scaling AI native businesses. From there, you get two options. Take it, implement it yourself, or if you want to work with us, happy to give you the opportunity to work with us, right? But today, I want to give you guys the clarity you need to win. Let's start with why everyone is failing, and then we're going to go back to the leverage blueprint. Perfect. Let's do it. So check this out. I want to share with you guys some of the data that we've pulled, or some of the research that I like to do and see where the market is at. Why is everyone in this space struggling? Look at this. I had this comment on a YouTube video. This guy said, "This is all just unrealistic, bombastic bullshit. I'm sure no ordinary person starting from scratch in a basic or limited resources capable of doing that. I'm a front-end developer and dreading to go back to get a job. I'm struggling to reach 3K per month with an AI automation business, and I've got a no-brainer all-in-one automation web package. I can literally put together websites in 30 to 60 minutes. The Gen Z influencer culture is just so blatantly toxic, victims and addicts of marketing and lacking of truth." That was a comment that made me think that, okay, something here might actually be broken. A front-end developer, someone who probably better positioned at understanding how to leverage AI than most people, struggling to make 3K per month and looking to go back to getting a job. But here's where it gets worse. Engineers. Look at this comment. I'm a senior software engineer with a background in AI engineering. The most challenging part, as you said, is to build a valuable solution. That's the mistake I made, and probably still making, like you said. You can't come from nowhere and build a real solution that solves a real problem. I'm trying to learn business, marketing, and all of that to build an intuition, but it's really hard for me as a purely technical person. I don't really know what companies actually need to solve and what are the real problems. Not going to lie, it's so frustrating when you can build anything of any complexity, but your skills are so useless because you don't know how business works. This also was something that, was a red flag to me. I was like, how is it that the people building AI can't even monetize AI? Because most people don't understand that it's not just the United States or the first world country paying attention to AI or watching the same videos as you. These videos are attracting so much attention that every single person who has internet in the world is pursuing these opportunities. And If you guys know anything about business, it's all about demand and supply. The moment that you make something readily available, when you make something free and you help people acquire the skill to use something that is free, it gets super commoditized. Right now, if you go on Fiverr, there's people building the N8N workflows, these agents for $21, not even USD, Canadian dollars, which is like 15 bucks USD. It costs almost the same as my Starbucks coffee that I just got this morning. There is no money to be made because the rate of commoditization for people who build custom workflows is ridiculous. They're competing with someone in Nigeria, someone in Africa, someone in Asia whose cost of living is a few $100 a month. They'd be happy making $250 a month. And that's not even enough for you to, at least that's not enough for me to even put gas in my car, right? So we understood that the opportunity was also not in building custom workflows and becoming an 8N workflow builder like integrators. That's not the opportunity. There is zero money here. So, how are we building in a world where it's commoditized, in a world where engineers are struggling, in a world where front-end developers are struggling? How are we building these firms that make $50 to $100,000 a month in 90 days while all of this is happening? I want to start this by sharing with you guys the number one lesson around business and why and no one is actually able to make money with AI. Let me show you guys this. I think you guys are going to love it. And then I'm also going to show you guys the actual agentic system we use to actually figure this out. Okay. Um, the competence fallacy or intelligence trap. Since the beginning of time, humans have been brainwashed to believe that they are the center of the universe. Stay with me. If I learned to hunt well, farm well, build useful skills, I survived. As societies industrialized, they needed a way to train a large populations efficiently. So schools were built. The wheel kept turning. If I learn enough, memorize everything, follow instructions, have all the right answers, pass the test, get a good grade, become intelligent, I'd have status and I'd maybe also make my parents proud. In the corporate system, it only works when most people execute inside predefined roles. The system does not need everyone, you, questioning what to do. It needs people executing how to do it. So you and I learn that for me to be good at my job, I need to be hardworking, consistent, reliable, specialized, and just focus on performing well inside the system. If I do so, I get rewarded with what? Promotions and security. All of the above trained us to survive and thrive in a system where us humans and our intelligence is the special asset. Our guarantee was if we work hard, become smart, you're safe. Well, in this new reality we just entered, intelligence is abundant. And that has become our greatest weakness because we're still leveraging AI through the lens of the old reality where the human is the special asset. Here's why it becomes a problem in the AI era. We're living in a world where intelligence can write, analyze, predict, design, create, optimize, test, iterate instantly in every domain you can think of. And then it's given to humans to tell it what to do. Humans who have lived in a world where they're trained to be a cog in a machine where they should only focus on one thing at a time, one path, one job. And worst of it all, our motto, our way of living is work hard, become smart, and you'll win. The outcome is we're given infinite intelligence, all the potential that can exist, but it's given to one person who's only known one thing their entire life. How does that make sense? Or if you multiply a billion times zero, you don't really get much. So we're the constraint of this technology. We have access to all the truths, but we're still blindfolded because we can't even recognize truth because of how we're trained and how school and how we're raised and everything. Okay? And worst of it all, everyone is being led into doubling down on their own idea, their own passions, the thing that makes them excited. Well, let me show you the stats of business since we're talking about entrepreneurship here. There's 33, 34 million businesses in the US. Only 5% cross $1 million in revenue, right? Which is less than 2 million businesses out of the 34. The average net profit of these that cross $1 million in revenue take home on average 7 to 10%, which means that on average they take home 85K per year. Imagine making $1 million and only taking home 85K a year. That's the top 5% of businesses in the US take home on average 85K per year. The bottom 95%, 15K to 20K a year. 95% of everyone on this call, if we started a business, we would be earning this kind of money based on the stats. And even if the top 5% were building a business that did $1 million, you'd only take home 85K a year. What's the point of going through all the sacrifices of being a business owner if the top 5%, the best of the best, is going to only going to be rewarded with 85K a year? Might as well just stick to your job and just work two jobs. It's stupid to become a business owner. It's literally irresponsible. Well, guess what? Everyone in this AI space is falling for the same trap. They think that somehow AI has rewritten the rules of business. No, 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 no. It gives you leverage. But if you use it to follow your passion, your interests, working really hard to learn every tool, cold outreach, spend money on ads, and expecting to win, you're just blindly following things that failed in the old world. Because pursuing the wrong game multiplied by infinite leverage, you're just faster. It just leads you to failing faster. And here's the moment I realized that we had this whole thing backwards. We built this client, a company in 2024, got him to $20,000 a month in the first like 30, 40 days from $2,000 in ads. Okay. But everything came crumbling because he unfortunately went after he's from a third world country, I think Trinidad and Tobago. He went after that market. And unfortunately, if you know anything about business, is that your market dictates everything. So a few months later, everything ended up crumbling. His clients weren't getting results. They wanted a refund, and he lost everything. All credit cards maxed out, everything. But he had $800 left on his Meta ads account, Facebook ads. And he was like, you know what? Since I've already lost everything, almost on bankrupt, why don't I just launch a new offer, a new business with the 800 bucks that I have on Meta? But before he could launch, he did something pretty interesting. He was like, before I launch anything, I need to have the right market, the right pain to solve with AI. I need the right unique mechanism, the thing that helps me stand out from competition. Because I cannot just go to the market and say, oh, I'm going to help you book appointments with an AI setter. You're not going to make any money with that, right? He also needed a monetization model where he can charge upfront fees and have a way to charge people on a recurring basis. The next thing that he needed to figure out is messaging. And last piece, fulfillment. He needed to build something once and release it over and over again. And look at this. This was beautiful to see. With $50 left in his ad account, he closed his first $2,000 client. And in the first month, collected $16,000. The second month did $50,000 in cash collected. The third month was doing 15K in a single day in cash collected and $30,000 in revenue. All because he found something that guarantees success before he decided to focus on it. Okay. And I want to show you guys what it was. The transformation made me realize that we fell for the competence fallacy when we thought that if we just automated every skill, help you have the leverage to scale with an AI operating system, that we would make success inevitable. But being skilled, smart, hardworking, having leverage simply doesn't guarantee success. Only one thing guarantees success, which is the truth. And the truth for me means a set of insights, information that would make it unreasonable for me not to make money right now. It looks something like this. Where's money already being spent today? What niche is already being sold AI and that has a high market viability score? The second thing I want to know is, what is the level of interest in AI over the last 12 months? I want to see if demand is growing faster than supply. When you enter a market where everybody's doing the same thing as you, there is no money to be made. The third thing I want to know is, what is the most important problem to solve for that specific market? Last but not least, who is already selling to this niche? And most importantly, how are they selling it? I never go into a market where no one is making money. I want to go find, you know how everybody's like, oh, but it's a saturated market, it's a red ocean. It's because someone is eating. Okay, there are sharks in the ocean, there is blood. Good. Let's get into that ocean. Okay. So for us, what we wanted to figure out is there a way for us to build a framework, an agentic system that helps you pick a market that you know is wanting what you have to sell? Pick an AI solution that is already proven, feasible. Create an AI offer that is already making your competitors money. And last but not least, have a client acquisition engine, a way to get leads, appointments that is already delivering leads, sales, and calls to your competition. This allows you to know that something works before you spend a minute or a dime on a business idea or an offer, an AI solution, or a way to acquire clients. And we ended up building what we call our truth engine. And I'd like to show you guys what it looks like. I think you guys are going to love it. Let's go. So I'm going to show you guys where we started and where we're at today, because we have taken things a little bit to the next level with 300 agents swarms. But I'll show you guys afterwards. So as I showed you guys earlier, we've been doing growth consulting for the last 4 or 5 years, right? So, and the thing that makes someone a great growth consultant is knowing what are the best opportunities, right? Like my scale is not necessarily, I'm not the hardest worker in the room, but I'm the person who will know how to succeed in the most effortless way. And that comes from years of seeing failure and years of seeing success. And then I end up building a framework, a mental model around how to find the right opportunities. Okay. So what we ended up doing with this system is I essentially looked at the last 5 years of case studies. I looked at when TikTok hit the scene. I looked at when short form content hit the scene. I looked at when people were struggling to sell Facebook ad. I looked at when YouTube became an amazing platform. I looked at, when AI started to hit, when we had AI voice agents. I looked at all the patterns around how we built the most successful companies and created every single process that I would personally use and run to find the truth in each market. And we turned it into a set of agents that will do the following. I'll show you guys. Let's say you want to go into, I was doing this research early this morning, going after insurance. We have a lot of clients who are seeing great success in insurance. I did it for law firms. We have a client we're wanting to scale their law firms. I'm also been someone who's interested to help other people run workshops and webinars for their businesses. And I'm going to break it down shortly for you guys. What this does, the Truth Engine, is it enters every single market you can think of and essentially tells you what the market is currently struggling with and what the opportunity is. So we've built, I believe, 5 to 6 companies in the dental market, doing, 50K, 100K, 200K per month. And before we built any of those companies, we wanted to understand which segment in the dental space is the best to go after, which avatar in that niche is the best to target, that have the highest customer lifetime value. So literally, they make who makes the most amount of money from their clients over the lifetime of that relationship. Okay. What are they currently struggling with? And who's going after them? Who's selling to them? And this agent, it's a multitude of agents, it's not just one. It goes and finds first what are they complaining about, then finds the segments in that market. It then finds what they're currently buying and finds competitors, shows you their ads. I'll share with audio so you guys can see it.
We'll guarantee you more implants and full arch cases within the first 30 days of working with us, or you don't pay us a dime. Let me show you how. First, our in-house team will handle your lead generation with...
Pay attention to this. He's not going after every dental practice. He's going after people who are interested in selling full arch implants. Why is this important? I promise you, there could be 2 agency owners going after dental markets. One is going to struggle to even make 5K per month. Another one is going to be making $500,000 a month. Why? Because that agency owner understands the dental market better than the dentists themselves understand their business. They understand the business model, the offer, the acquisition engine, the ads, the creatives, the funnel that bring them the most amount of money. And then they only focus on promising the dental practice owner that specific offer. But here's where things get interesting. Once you see who's currently going into the dental market, what are they selling them? You then can have what? The engine go replicate and find everything about the competitor that you found. So to traffic, who's this guy?
This system has helped.
You then get the agent to say, hey, please give me everything about Truth Traffic. Give me their offer. Give me a way to compete with them. Tell me who they're going after. Financial screening. They verify that before they send an appointment to the practice, they're not just sending them leads. They're not just selling them appointments. They're selling them pre-vetted prospects with their credit score already validated before an appointment. Because a lot of the practices don't want to just get a bunch of appointments, consults with people who are broke, right? So what this allows us to do when we're building companies is we start with what the market already wants. And we also have everything about the competitor who are doing amazing in that niche. You can do this in real estate. You want to sell to realtors? Beautiful. Be my guest. Look at the trend over the last 12 months. Look at the fact that AI appointment setting is actually growing faster than lead generation. And then once you're done, look at a competitor.
Realtors, how did this regular realtor
If you like their ads, if you think their offer is good, then ask, hey, please replicate everything about this competitor and give me everything I'd need to compete with them and dominate. You can do this in every single market that you want. You want to sell to e-com, you want to sell skincare, you want to sell whatever. We just focus on selling high ticket services that are leverage are fulfilled with AI, but we never start without finding the truth. But we've taken things a bit to another level. With AI, we're now able to build a swarm of agents. So every single day, we're scraping hundreds, if not thousands, of data points in every single market you can think of. Insurance, personal injury, as you guys can see, yoga studios, estate planning, optometry, mental health, plastic surgery, orthodontists, fencing. And what we're trying to do is we're trying to understand what works in every single vertical that you can think of. Why is this important? I'll explain. Let me by pulling up this here. What we want to do is not only have luck on our side, but we actually want to have luck on our client side. It's one thing to know that you can, it's one thing to know how to go make money in a specific niche, but it's another to know how to help your clients have the same infrastructure as the 1% in their industry. So let's say I want to go into cosmetic dentistry. I'm able to see everything. I'm able to see the top funnels of the people that I probably would want to compete with, right? See everything, see their funnel. I want to see the ads of people selling like dentist offers, like going to consumers. What are their ads? This allows me to know how to create better ads for my clients. It allows me to know how to build a better funnel. It allows me to know how to sell and help them make more money. Without having any experience in dental, I can know how to fulfill before I step foot in that market. And you also have the ads on how people are attracting dental.
Medic dentists don't realize about veneer patients. They almost never contact just one practice. Most of them reach out to 3 or 4 clinics at the same time.
Not only ads, but you also want to see the content and who's killing it organically. I don't know if you guys have noticed, but it's not enough to just run ads because today you're able to get attention by just being on TikTok. Get 16 million views, 19 million views. You can do it for yourself. You can do it for your clients. So we don't necessarily just want to understand one paid acquisition funnel. We also want to understand what content is currently going viral and attracting the best prospects for our clients on behalf of our clients. You then have hundreds and hundreds of niches that we're scraping every single day, just so we can be at the forefront of being able to help any of these verticals, any of these niches, whenever we want. You do this for yourself, for your client. You also have it for the agencies that are currently competing with you. You get to see all of their funnels. You get to see everything about every market. Anyone here currently in a specific niche? Let me know in the chat. Yeah, let's say like if I wanted to go into HVAC, you have all the competitors right now in HVAC. You can see their funnels. You can see their ads. They have currently 6 video ads. You can see their funnels. You can see everything here. Put 45 new HVAC customers on your books in 90 days. You replicate something like this, especially if they already are running ads, and you start getting appointments, you start getting leads, you start getting everything, right? 99% of everyone who's struggling just guess their way into a market. They're like, oh, I'm going to do cold outreach. Oh, I'm going to do this. Oh, I'm going to do this. Well, there's someone out there who's making millions of dollars a year doing the thing you already want to do, right? So for us, we have truth in every market before we step foot in that market, and it allows us to be a little bit more luckier. It puts luck on our side. And the beautiful part about this is we leverage AI to go into any vertical, whether that's our clients or our clients' businesses that actually want to scale. And it gives us an amazing edge, like Aram just said. And I want to show you guys something even more exciting. By the way, the point of this system is you don't even have to trust me. You don't have to like me. You don't have to like what I look like. You could hate me, but the truth is the truth. It's irrelevant. And the value of that is when our clients are currently using this system, because our clients don't just use it to pick a market, our clients also leverage it to sell prospects. And I want to show you guys how. Wasim is going after interior designers, and he struggled to close them. He had a few prospects in the pipeline. He spent money on ads, got leads, but couldn't really close them. When we released this truth engine, kind of like agentic system, he used it to go look up the interior designer niche, find what the top 1% of interior designers are doing when it comes to growing their business, and re-engage the lead in his pipeline, show them a truth report for that niche, and that prospect ended up signing an $8,000 deal and paying him $4,000 upfront. Hamad was an engineer last year in December, ended up quitting his job. Why? Because after he put together his offer, he went after insurance agents, closed his first $2,000, 2.5K client, did an interview with him because I was surprised that, like, it's rare that like people are working a full-time job end up making something work, and actually, because it takes time to win, right? Close the deal. I was like, wow, this is a great accomplishment, because that first client changes your life, FYI. He told me that he went then on a dry spell after a month of not closing a deal. I said, hey, we just released this Truth Engine agentic system. You should probably leverage it to re-engage your leads. On 5th of December, Monday the 8th, re-engage his pipeline, close the client at 8 p.m. The following morning at 9 a.m., close another client for $2,000. 48 hours later, signed the third client in less than 72 hours. All of this because he was not selling how accomplished and how experienced he is, because he's just a newbie. He was just getting started. But because he had the truth and he was just selling a prospect what was already working in their market, he didn't have to need as much proof. And recently he's now doing $17,000 like a month, and he's crossed his first 10K a month like a month or two ago. And now he's just all in on doing this. The reason why this allows us, this is possible, is because right now the market is super competitive. Everybody's jaded. Everybody has been scammed a million times. And this gives you leverage when it comes to using AI to know what your clients need. You give them the playbook that you're going to help them implement. If they trust it, if they like it, they exchange money with you. If not, you move on to the next client. But someone will do transaction with you if you give them the truth. Therefore, today, we're literally only selling, we're running this playbook that is truth-based selling. We find everything that the clients needs before we set foot on a sales call. Okay. Now, I just showed you guys how to find the right opportunities for yourself or for your clients. Now, let's go back to the leverage component. Okay. So let me show you guys this. Just because you have truth doesn't actually mean you necessarily know how to orchestrate the business and the offer and the fulfillment to actually be able to scale and make thousands and thousands of dollars per week. So I want to show you guys this lesson here. Let's go back to here. Anybody knows a little bit about Alex Hormozi? We're about to go into delivery right now. So I'm sure everybody should know Alex Hormozi by now. Okay, perfect. So the way that I'm going to solve this is I'm going to solve how to make money, how to get clients, and how to deliver in one go with this story, and is going to lay into the next step, which is how to actually fulfill with an operating system, which is here. But before I get to that, let me show you guys this. In 2021, I was in my $2,000 Mazda listening to Alex Hormozi podcast, right? And he was talking about the story of how he shut down all his gyms, and in the following 3 months made $3 million in profit. In the following 6 months after, made $3 million in profit, and then 12 months later made $17 million in profit. I don't know about you guys, but making $17 million in profit normally is the type of profit that is generated by a company doing $100 million a year. Let's be sure of that. So it's unbelievable. It's an unbelievable case study, right? But the thing that was interesting is how much he was struggling in the business before. Let's understand business. Hormozi left his consulting job at 23, opened 5 gym locations by the time he was 24, closed all of the gyms at 26, lost everything, started an agency helping gyms get appointments and get new members, closed that agency down too. From 23 to 26, everything that he tried failed. Why? Because not all business models are created equal. A gym business, you're capped by the fact that you can only serve people in a 25-mile radius. That's bottleneck number one. Bottleneck number two is you're selling a commodity. People don't pay tens of thousands of dollars to lose weight or to go to the gym. There's a gym in Montreal that's probably like $19 a month. So you get commoditized, you get competed away to the lowest profit you'll ever make because it's a business that everyone can do. It's been around. But what he had figured out though is he figured out a way to structure a $100 million offer, charge for a program instead of a membership. So that was something that he was doing well, but it's still commoditized. The next bottleneck that you have in such a business model is that you're capped by the location size. If your gym is small, you cannot really serve that many people. But the other issue is he was also training people himself. So you're also capped by the time you have to serve your customers. It's like a bottleneck on top of bottleneck. Now, the only thing that was good for him is that Facebook ad was just launching, so he was really good at that. And that was the thing that made him lucky, that gave him a little bit of luck. But another thing, there was no demand. It's not like people suddenly wanted to buy Ozempic and wanted to lose weight and wanted to work out. There was no trend in the market that made people want to work out and lose weight more. So there was no trend. When you find yourself in a business like this, guys, run, get out. Do yourself a favor because this business has zero momentum potential. It will kill you. You will work 5, 10, 20 years, and the only thing you'll have left is just enough to survive and to show up again to do it all over again. And Hormozi experienced it. And if Hormozi failed at this thing, and he's the type of guy who doesn't like anything in life except working, what makes the likelihood that we succeed at these businesses really low? Look at what he did next. After he shut down this business, he changed, number one thing, who he serves. Stopped selling to consumers, started serving gyms. Not just gyms in his local area, gyms nationwide. There's thousands of them. When you serve a business, you're able to solve a sophisticated problem. When you solve a sophisticated problem, it means you have to build a sophisticated solution. A sophisticated solution means they can't access it from anywhere else, which allows you to charge as much money as you want. Each business that he was serving on average was taking home 30K to 40K a year in profit. So they're not actually rich people. They're not rich clients. I know Hormozi likes to say, oh, you need to serve rich customers, richer customers. But if you guys listen to his book, the average gym owner was not making much money. But regardless, he was able to charge them $16,000 for his playbook and his systems. Why do you guys think someone who makes this kind of money is willing to pay this kind of money to solve their business problems? Anybody in the chat? Who has an answer to this? Why can you serve someone who's a business owner, not necessarily making a lot of money, but be able to charge them this kind of money? Scalability, survival. So here's the beautiful thing about selling to businesses. How much money they have on hand is irrelevant. How much money they make per month is irrelevant because they've committed their life to becoming successful. Unlike consumers, being a business owner is not like you do this for fun. It's not like you can just, oh, it's going to fail, and then you're going to go back to just a 9 to 5. No. You're never going to back to a 9 to 5. You're never going back to working for anyone else. And whatever it costs you to win, you're going to do it. So $16,000 for a lifetime of scaling past millions of dollars per year is a sweet trade. I would spend 16 grand all day, every day, if it helped me acquire the skills to stop suffering. Always have that in the back of your mind, guys. Stop selling to people who are willing to give up anytime. You want to find people who are so committed to their journey that when you say that the thing costs $15,000, $25,000, they think of it as, what's 25K to a lifetime of success? It's nothing. It's a cheap price to pay. That's lesson number one. Serve businesses, charge them a lot of money, sell them a sophisticated solution. The other thing that was interesting for him is that the delivery model was infinitely scalable. He was selling the advice, the training, the systems that he had built while scaling his own gyms. The offer building, the lead gen, the appointment setting, the sales process, all of that. But he built it once, and everyone who became a client who paid 16 grand could experience the value without him being in the trenches, talking to people, serving customers, and being bottlenecked by a service done for you business. He was leveraging ads to get clients, so it's leveraged. And people wanted Facebook ad. Most gyms did not know how to run Facebook ad, and Hormozy was amazing at it. You solve these three things, these four things, and this is how you're able to do this type of profit from going bankrupt to $3 million in 6 months to $17 million in 12 months. I learned the same thing when I was running an appointment setting agency. I was serving other service providers online. I was commoditized, charging $700, $1,500 a month. Every time I had a client, I needed to hire more employees. We had to do done for you services for every one of them. I was doing cold outreach to get clients. There was no trend in the market. And I did quit my 30K year job the year before, started making $28,000 a month in May of 2021. So I was doing well, but I saw this and I was like, uh-oh, I might be in the wrong vehicle right now. Because no amount, it's not about making money. It's about how leveraged you are when you're making it. Are you in the trenches working 7 days a week for 28 grand a month? It might sound like a lot of money if you're just working a job making 2K per month like I was, but it's not fun because all you do all day, every day is sell commoditized services, have prospects complain that you're expensive and try to lowball you, and you settle for the low retainers because you have to pay bills, you need to grow revenue, but because you don't have enough margins, enough profit left at the end of the month, you can't really afford superstar talent. And if you can't hire smarter people than you, your clients are going to get shittier results the more clients you get. And if they get shitty results, they churn. If they churn, you have to go back and replace them. Most agency owners are stuck in this, what I call the slavery flywheel. They're selling something that's not expensive, so they don't make any margins. Because they don't make any margins, they can't hire people that are smart. Because they can't hire people that are smart, they can't have a better backend. And because they don't have a better backend, then all the people that come in this way leave this way. You're just constantly in this rat race of like, you're just living paycheck to paycheck. It's just under the form of a business. And it's not fun. I lived it. And unlike most people, I was like, you know what? I'm 22 or however old I was. YOLO. Let's put it all on the line. Shut down this business. Literally went back to 13K a month the following month. No more clients. I said, I'm not going to keep running this unscalable business. And then what I did next was stuck to serving businesses, but instead of selling done for you services for $1,500 a month, I said, I'm going to sell transformations. I'm going to put together the infrastructure in your business to help you get the inputs and do the work that I would normally do for you. Instead, I'm going to place the system and the talent in your company for you to run it yourself. Here's what happens when you sell people a system, an asset that gives them value even once you're gone. You're able to charge a lot of money. And that's what happened to me. I went from charging $1,200 a month to charging each client $12,000, $10,000, $15,000, $10,000. And the next thing that I did, I built everything once. Every new client that came in, it wasn't a process of, oh, I'm going to have to rebuild a custom build. Oh, I'm going to have to figure out your ads. No. It's like, here's a playbook, here's a system, here's the assets, pay 10 grand. I'll implement it in the next 4 weeks and 8 weeks of management and optimization. But everyone gets the same system. So fulfillment was leveraged. Client acquisition, I was doing content and cold outreach still. Everyone was building these online businesses without a way to acquire clients predictably. So I just plug and played their system. When you have a way to charge a lot of money, have the fulfillment not be tied to your time, have a way that's leveraged to acquire clients, this is what happens. December of 2022, I hit our first $500,000 a month. October 1st to December, I did my first $1 million in 90 days. All because I just stopped playing the unscalable game. I just stopped this thing that just keeps you stuck. Every single person that is paying attention to AI knows nothing about the importance of leverage in a business. So what they're doing is they're not picking any specific niche. They're saying, oh, I'm going to just build custom workflows for a business. I'm going to become an amazing integrator. Okay, good luck. Good luck on their success. They're doing everything themselves, so they're capped by time. Even worse, they get clients from different niches. So every time they get a new client, they have to figure out from scratch. And they're being told you do cold DMs, cold calls to get clients, which is ridiculously unscalable, or it doesn't actually even work. And even with all the ridiculous demand of AI, guess what? Commoditize, struggling to make 3K per month. I understood that the only way we're going to win is how do we get AI to be able to fulfill sell transformations, solve every bottleneck for a specific niche, go after businesses, deliver in a way that's infinitely leveraged, and acquire clients in a way that's leveraged. And that's where we built this year. To show you guys what this is, I need to show you guys what 100K a month infrastructure looks like. When you want to scale past 100 grand a month, or at least when you end up scaling past 6 figures a month, preferably in profit, you end up realizing that success is not luck. It's about deserving it. And when you look at a company doing $1 million a year or more, they actually have every single system in their business set up so that the machine works without the founder. And for us, in order for us to create 100 grand a month in revenue, we need 10 to 50 leads per day, 1 to 10 appointments per day, and 1 to 5 clients per week, each paying us 5 to 10K per deal. For you to create these outputs, you need the right offer, you need the right market, you need the right sales letter. How are you going to communicate the value that you're going to bring to that specific niche? We do this for dental, we do this for law firms, we do this for restaurants. We put together the sales letter, the sales argument that makes these markets trust us. Once we're done with putting together the offer and the sales letter, we then build systems. We put together the CRM, we put together the tracking, all the systems needed to track leads, appointments, sales, so that we know where everyone is coming from and why anyone is either interested, not interested, why they're not showing up for calls, all that good stuff. We do this before we start phase 3, which is generating lead flow. We generate lead flow through ads. I could care less if you have $10,000 a month on ads or $500, go to ads. Okay? Why is ads super beneficial? It's because it's leveraged. It's not tied to your time. It's not tied to your emotions. Someone who makes $1 million a year does not work when their business doesn't work when they feel like it. The business just prints money without the founder. And the most leveraged way to do it is to have a way for people to give you attention and pay attention to your business without you working. And the best way is ads. We had this client, Janae, she started her offer and we got her on ads. And in 48 hours after launching her ads, she got 14 leads and 4 sales calls in the niche that she was going after. And what was interesting is that all that it cost her was $66. Think about it. Spend $66 to get 4 sales calls, right? With a business that's might be willing to give you $4,000, $5,000, $7,000, $10,000. That's how you turn money. You use money to make money. Everyone has only been trained to sell their hourly life, to do outreach, to do cold calls. I'm like, no. Do you have $66? Okay, let's give it to Meta, right? $71 here, 8 sales calls. Once you have this predictable lead gen system, you need a predictable way to convert leads into appointments. We do that through AI SDRs, or before we used to have setters. Setters, AI books every lead into your calendar for you. The next thing is, how are you going to convey value on a sales call to get someone to wire you $10,000, $7,000, $5,000, or even $2,000? Or if you're going after insurance agencies, how are you going to get them to give you $9,000? Well, you need a specific sales process, a sales script. How are you going to audit their business? How are you going to lay down the offer? How are you going to create enough urgency and scarcity to actually get them to buy? For us, we wanted to be able to solve all of this here with AI. How can we use AI to build this infrastructure for any business in any niche? That's when we built this here. I want to show you guys how it works. For you to be able to solve all of these pillars, you need to have the following. First things first, you need to be able to find in any market that you go into, the content and the ads that are currently working, whether that be e-com, AI, local businesses, real estate, you want to sell coaching, you want to sell software. We want to find the ads that are killing it in the market. Once you have the ads, you want to be able to recreate them. With what? With agents. So we have this content kind of like system that allows you to build highly believable AI creatives. I'll show you guys an example of this. You want to be able to create AI avatars that either match who your ICP is going after or who you want to go after and have them be in the creative.
The reactor's eyes go wide. Oh my God.
Let me show you guys the dental one.
The reason most dental practices can't scale past a certain point is because their front desk is the bottleneck. You're spending 10 grand a month on ads and your receptionist is sending leads to voicemail during lunch.
Every dentist I know who's tried AI systems for their practice says the same thing. They wish they'd done it 2 years ago. Stop waiting.
This allows you to be able to create the content, the creatives, whether that be for ads or organic, to attract your ICP. Once you're able to create this, you then need to be able to schedule it. You need to be able to manage your ad account without leaving the system. Okay. So like right now, you guys can see currently the ads that I'm currently running on my own account. I spent $33,000 here, $2 grand on this profile campaign. And you have an AI agent here that you can speak with that helps you manage the campaign. Okay. The next thing that we had to build in, of course, funnels. You need to be able to spin up funnels in any market without you having to lift a finger. You need to have the ability to connect a CRM, whether that be a native CRM that we're working on or go high level, which is what a lot of people use. You need to be able to have your conversations, your leads, and have all these channels that you actually leverage to acquire clients. You need to be able to do research like I showed you guys earlier. But all of this allows you to enter the ability to automate and have everything be done almost autonomously. Let me show you guys. So I did this for the HVAC niche, and I want to show you guys how it works. You just spin up this agent and you're like, hey, I want to go into the HVAC market. Please find me what the market is currently wanting. Show me the interest. It is then going to find people are currently advertising, going after plumbing and HVAC. So this guy's selling SEO. You want to see what your competitors are doing, other people. It will then tell you what is the thing that HVAC people are struggling with, not the thing that you would assume that they're struggling with, but exactly what is it that they're struggling with. And I'll show you guys an example. HVAC is not only just struggling with getting customers, but they're actually struggling with having technicians to do the work. We pay well and have plenty of work. Only issue is finding qualified people to fill positions. This allows you to have insights in every market of truth and understand what the market is actually struggling with, not what you necessarily want to sell. Because you might end up wanting to build a solution that actually helps them hire people, like a talent acquisition system. It goes deeper, finds you competitors who are going after HVAC. You can see if they're running ads. You can see their funnel architecture. So if I pause this, you guys can see people are going after HVAC. You're able to understand their funnels. You're able to understand their case studies. Why are case studies important? It gives you proof that the thing you want to sell them is already proven and that there are case studies that exist. You need this to have confidence that the thing that you're going to sell, even if you haven't done it yet, is actually doable. It is going to go through all of these steps, the offer, build everything for you, put together the go-to-market motion, how you're going to launch ads, how you're going to put everything together, validate your offer, make sure that, hey, based on all of these things, the pain of the market, here's the things you should probably double down on if you want to have an even better offer, and tell you things to improve. Put together all of the offer assets in a single doc, put together your pricing and margins and tell you what you should probably charge for this offer, give you the cost to fulfill, give you the cost to acquire clients, and give you the margins you should expect. And while all of this is being built, it's being saved. The reason why this is amazing is because have you guys used ChatGPT? And every time, I mean, we all use ChatGPT or Claude, right? But how many times do you have to give the context about your business to AI? You have to remind it, here's who I'm going after. Oh, here's the thing I'm struggling with. Oh, here's the competitor ad. Can you help me recreate the ad? Can you help me recreate the funnel? Oh, can you help me do this? How many times do you spend all your days just telling AI, giving AI information so it can actually do work? What this solves by having all of this research being done, scraping the entire internet of truth, is that everything that gets built gets saved here. So all the future agents know what your business is about, why it was built, who it's built for. And you just speak to AI that knows everything about your business. But it doesn't stop here. Of course, it goes ahead and builds your landing page, builds your sales presentation. Boom, just talk to the market, pre-call VSL, nurture sequences. All of these are built, ready to be pushed into your CRM or your workflows without you having to, I guess what, even go through everything. 99% spend 2 months trying to build our workflows to make sure that prospects follow up and show up. Their SMS blast, their everything gets built for you, generates the ads, generates the sales script based on, it's not showing up here, it's failed to load, but normally you have all the sales script for this offer. It goes ahead and shows you content that's currently going viral in your niche and shows you all the ads of the competitor.
If you're an HVAC contractor doing over $3 million a year, we'll pay for your ads and send you exclusive pre-qualified.
And not one.
Hey there, HVAC owner. You've got the trucks, you've got the techs. What you don't have is a full schedule.
So you
a lot of roofers are just completely giving up on Google Maps.
So you don't have to struggle by guessing what the ad is going to be and waste your money on ads. Once it's done all of this, it goes in, uploads all of the assets. You connect your CRM, you connect your Meta ad account, your pixel, your lead form, if you want to do lead forms, and it goes ahead and launches your campaign on Meta without you lifting a single finger. It will fetch all the business assets, all the context. It will create the campaign. It will search the targeting for you. Why is it able to do this for you without you lifting a finger? Because it already has all the truth in the market. Does that make sense? Generates the ad creatives, uploads the creatives to Meta, launches the campaign, and just asks you to make sure that you just validate it. And if you want to see the campaign that it launched on my account as I was doing this test, I'll show you guys. Maximum, where is the maximum? So I built this campaign here, shows the avatar, shows the targeting, shows the budget. You can improve the budget if you want, shows the age range, shows the targeting, shows the state or country, Canada and US, uploaded the creatives, uploaded the copy for these ads, added the link for the funnel, and all you have to do is just activate it. This is how we're able to still be able to charge a lot of money for something that is AI enabled. You cannot just settle for just helping a business with, oh, I'm going to implement this AI thing. You need to own end-to-end the entire infrastructure that helps them solve all of their growth problems. Okay? And this here allows you to go into any market, be able to solve and sell a playbook and infrastructure that solves a sophisticated problem. And then you're also able to deliver it in a leveraged way. And you can also use it to acquire clients for yourself and know what is required to win in any market. All of this I just showed you guys is really around solving this problem here that every entrepreneur kind of like tends to forget. The way you get filthy rich is you go after a market that has a deep pain, that can afford what you have to sell, and that can't necessarily solve it themselves, okay? Allows you to have a solution that is not commoditizable, but you then need to be able to deliver it in a leveraged way. You cannot be stuck in the weeds, and you also need to go ahead and acquire clients for yourself in a leveraged way. This is why we built TryCook AI. In a sea of everyone paying attention to AI, without understanding that, no, the game of business is business rewards leverage. He or she that has the most amount of leverage makes the most amount of money. Not the person who's the smartest, not the person who's the hardest worker. No, the further you are from the work and that work is valuable and you own the mechanism that delivers value, the more money you're going to make. Now, I just showed you guys how the operating system works from the perspective of you using it. But it does not answer the agentic one-person company. So can I show you guys what we discovered on the agentic side of things? Like actually have agents cooking for you without you lifting a finger or touching any software. You guys want to see that? All right, let me show you guys. This is where the game gets exciting. So by now you guys have seen how we monetize AI by using it to solve specific sophisticated problems for businesses. You've also seen how we use AI to find the opportunities, the niches, the markets that's spending money, and our competitors, how they're doing it so we can replicate success. But now I want to show you guys what has been an issue. After almost 4 years, so we got AI in 2022, November of 2022. right? Have you guys asked yourselves, why is it that the only thing that it can do is vibe code websites and software and not run a real business? Have you guys answered this question? How come AI you can ask it to, you can replicate any software, six-figure a year software, you can just ask it, Cloud Code, Codex, it's just going to ship it. That has been something for me that I had to understand where is the opportunity to actually solving this one person company where you have just AI agents doing all of the work. And I want to help you guys understand what happens. So you need to understand what a closed loop system is and what an open loop system is. Here's how AI actually ships software. And this is why AI can essentially create anything for you that is code based. Think of this. You ask AI to build a website or to build an app. You write the prompt. That's all you have to do. AI writes the code based on that prompt. But what it does is it goes ahead and writes the code and creates the thing, but it itself reviews if there is any errors, any bugs, and fixes the bug, writes more code to fix the issue, and then deploys it. At no point are you involved in any of this loop. You just have to do the prompt. AI will generate the code. It will test itself. And then if it works, if there is a bug, it will fix it. If it's working, it will deploy it. It's a closed loop system. The human is only required to just make a wish. AI starts cooking. For business, it's not like that. Like business is not a closed loop system. Everything influences everything, right? So when you write a prompt, let's say you want to make $10,000 a month, or you want to make $100,000 a month. Okay, what niche? How are we going to get clients? What is the messaging? Is this niche wanting clients, or do they struggle with something else? How much money do you have? What resources do you have? How fast do you want to get there? What's your revenue goal? How are you going to sell? AI simply does not have a harness or the context to do everything you need done to be successful. It can write code, but it cannot print money for you because it lacks. The first thing is a harness. Just like in coding, every action the agent takes needs to be checked before the next one runs. So when you send an email, did you get a response rate? Did you get an appointment? What happened on the appointment? Right? If AI doesn't have a way to check on everything that's happening in the business, it's not going to be valuable. That's problem number one. But problem number two, which is actually more important, is encoded context and playbook. In code, the rules are universal. A test passes or fails the same way in every code base on Earth. In business, there is no universal right answer. What converts for a med spa business clinic is not going to work for a law firm. What works for an AI agency is not going to work for an AI platform. What works for someone who does roofs is not probably going to work for someone who does plumbing, right? What works for one operator's positioning will kill another's. The judgment that decides what to do, when to do it, and how to do it lives in most operators' heads. And it's built from years of patterns nobody wrote down. Nobody has documented how to actually win in all of these businesses and all these niches. Without that loaded into the system, agents are making calls in a vacuum, and a perfect harness on missing context just means you're failing faster. This is why, no matter how intelligent ChatGPT, Cloud Code has gotten, all you do is just run around in a circle. It's just making you excited. Oh wow, this is so interesting. Oh, this is amazing. But then you ask yourself, well, where's the revenue that proves that you have access to this infinite intelligence? There isn't, right? For this to happen, you need a system that has an orchestration layer where you can set a goal and assign it to agents. Agents can execute. And there's also a process of verifying that the work is being done. And next step, you as a founder need a process of encoding what you know into skills, into recipes, so that your agents can execute within this harness with the right judgment. Think of it as the harness helps it be able to execute work and schedule work like in a business. And then the judgment or the encoding layer allows it to be as good as the best of the best in the niche that you're in. And that's what we've essentially built with TriCook AI 3.0. And I'd like to share with you guys what it looks like. Let me show you guys this. This has been really tough to figure out, but we've I believe we're here. Let me show you guys this. Let's do it. All right, so I'm gonna go through a sequence of how it works, and then I'm gonna show you guys. So first things first, today AI consumes content for me. So I chose the top creators that I want to consume content from, and every single day, this workspace, this business context, which is mine, it goes and watches the content that Claude or Boris, who built Claude Code, is sharing some insights. It goes ahead and checks out what Naval is saying. It goes ahead and checks out what Guillermo is saying, who's the founder of Vercel, and says, hey, by the way, this is a great insight. Do you want us to create a task around this new piece of content? Because here's how we would apply it based on your business. So none of us have to be stuck in the world of you have to watch 50,000 videos a day and know how to implement it into your business. Skip that. Let AI agents consume content for you on your behalf and let it suggest the best way to execute it in your business. And when you're done, just click here and create a task. Okay? That's step number one. Next step is we took things a little bit deeper when it comes to the context. Every single thing that's happening in your business today should all live in this centralized file system. Think about sales calls. Think about your clients. Think about your team, your comp, the way you get clients, the way you do every single thing should live in one centralized system. So every single AI employee, which I'm going to show you guys shortly, always knows everything that's happening in your business, from how you're getting clients to your profitability and your business model. And this gets synced up every single day as you bring in more context in your business. That's pillar number 2. AI employees. You should no longer need to hire people as long as you know what the job they should be running is, what they should be doing, what tools they need access to. You should just start building AI employees and put them in an org chart. So as an example, this is Jordan. He manages our sales. He reviews the sales calls. He reviews everything. You give him a prompt the same way that you would hire someone that you pay $250,000 a year. You give him his North Star metric. I need you to make sure that every sales calls that is scheduled on our closer's calendar is worth a minimum of $1,000. If any of these benchmarks drop below 75%, offer rate, close rate, cash per call scheduled drops, here's what I need you to do every single day. Pull yesterday's number, calculate the North Star, run the conversion diagnostic, build a diagnosis, produce one fix, solve the problem, deliver the outputs, and brief the team, train the team, update the CEO, and make sure you run that every day. I was paying an agency $10,000 a month to come in and help me with my sales process and my sales team. And I was like, what am I doing? What am I doing? Because this sales agency, all they do is they know what to look for, which is a process, and they have access to our sales recordings on Fathom. They have access to the business context, and they just update me every day. So why don't I automate it with an AI employee? Done. You want an AI that does media buying? Done. You want an AI that manages your YouTube, that creates thumbnails, that does everything? Done. So that every single morning, you guys can see Casey, she manages on my YouTube channel. Every single day she goes in and looks at YouTube, looks at competitors, looks at thumbnails that are working. And I'm like, okay, cool, just rip. Iris takes care of lead marketing and the data. Done. Hermes takes care of all this of all the data that comes from sales calls. Alexander pulls all the yesterday's metrics on marketing. Aris produced the full. I forgot what even they do, but I have like 7 different employees. This allows you to be able to have all the leverage and having these agents be able to work with you on your workspace, and you can see all of the work that they're doing in the background. You can speak to them without you having to actually even jump on a platform or in a software. You can just speak with them on Slack, on Discord, and have them accomplish work get stuff done without you needing to lift a finger. As an example, if you had a med spa client that needed AI creatives or content for shorts or for ads, perfect. Just get Mia or Nina to go ahead and create all the creatives. And what she's going to do is she's going to go in here and she's going to create 79 different files because she understands your prospect. She's going to take care of the creatives and she's going to take care of the captions in the video itself. So if I was a content creation agency, I'm no longer having to ask my client, hey, please shoot this, hey, shoot this, hey, shoot that. No. Just skip straight into having AI do all of the work and schedule tasks like you would assign it to a human. And of course, for all of this to be possible, you need to document how work is done. You need to build skills. This is 99% of my time as a CEO or as a knowledge worker should be spent on documenting how great work is done and then putting it into a recipe so that agents can come in every single day, build a YouTube video, packaging, using the skills that I documented, create short form content using this short form skill, write an email and SMS to re-engage our leads who jumped on our sales call, ManyChat, build me the ManyChat automation, the paid ads, upload the new creative based on the context that I pulled or that it pulls every day on every single call that my team has. It goes ahead and finds insights from who bought from us, why did they buy, if they did not buy, why did they not buy, what are the beliefs that we need to break, what are the beliefs that we need to shift. All of this now can be assigned to an AI employee that lives in your business, and you can either trigger it with every time there is an outcome, like here, every sales call, Chris goes ahead and takes care of the work. That's step number one. Or option two is you can have it do work at the same time every single day for yourself or for your clients. As long as every single tool that your team leverages to do work is accessible to the agents. So for us to be able to achieve this, we needed to figure out integrations. We need to figure out a way to build skills. We need a way to figure out recipes. How do you string multiple actions and activities so that an AI employee can actually manage it for you? Okay. And then projects. How can you assign projects in the business, in the focus? How can you have a workspace for clients? So that if you onboard a client, you can send them an AI kind of like onboarding process that will that is optimized for your business, and they just get onboarded literally with AI. They fill out the funnel, AI follows up with them, and you can have all the support be done by a bunch of AI agents following up with your clients, making sure they're giving you all the assets instead of having an onboarding specialist in your business. This here allows you to codify, automate everything that you do, how you do it with tools that you use. You're a media buyer, you do YouTube, you do shorts, you do sales, you're a sales agency. Perfect. How do you do work? When do you do it? What is the clear outcome from it? What tools do you use? Perfect. How can we assign that to an AI employee to run this for your clients or for yourself? And how can we, what are all the contexts that we need access to get them to do great work? And that's it. Okay. So we started first with how do we get an operating system that can help you have leverage when using the machine? But now the new worldview is let the machine use the machine on your behalf with your skills, with your the same accountability you would have or job role you would have for a human. Give it to an agent. Okay. What does this mean? Right now, it's a race to who's going to own the agentic era of every single niche. Because here's one thing I can guarantee. AI is coming for everything. And the way you survive and thrive is not to shy away from it. It's to fully embrace it because that is the opportunity. The opportunity is in adapting and not necessarily shying away from it. And the beautiful part about this is, unlike old business models where success meant you have to sacrifice yourself, this is the first time where a business model or a way to operate gives you more leverage and makes you luckier the more work you do. So the playbook is really simple. Find proven demand, solve it for that specific niche, document how it's done, let agents do the work. That's it. That's all that there is to be done. You have to race to picking a specific market, understanding how to help them grow, charge them 5, 10, 15 grand or more, document it with agents, let those agents run the playbook for all of your clients. And as long as they have electricity, as long as they have the GPUs, the compute, you just keep monetizing. Traditionally, what this business model looked like is when you succeed and get clients, then you have to hire more people, more contractors. The more contractors you hire, the less margins you make. But then the less margins you make, that means that you need actually more clients. And the more clients you get, that means you need to spend more money on acquiring clients. So you actually lose more money, both on front end and back end, the more successful you get. That's why it's been so hard for service providers to actually grow and make any money. It's because the bigger you get, the more annoying and unprofitable your big business gets, and the more stress and the more entropy you deal with, right? And of course, as you guys saw, Hormozy made a reel about this where it's like the future of businesses is going to look something like this.
Which is bring your own software or bring your own agent. And so what that means is you're going to train agents on doing what you do so that you can go to a business and say, hey, instead of hiring a department, you can just bring me and I can do all of it. And instead of compensating an entire department, I would like some fraction between what you would pay one person and what you pay that entire department. It's a win-win proposition that I think people who are paying attention to AI right now and not afraid of it, but leaning into it, so that the goal is that you replace yourself and don't let someone else do it. Follow along if you want to learn from some of the mistakes I made in growing my business.
So this is what the future is going to be. But of course, it's one way to say it this way, but it's another to actually figure out the actual infrastructure that allows it to happen, right? There are 36 million businesses in the US. 90% of businesses worldwide are small, medium-sized businesses. They're already spending money on all these verticals. Let me show you guys. Marketing and lead gen is a $250 billion a year industry. Sales and closer services, $150 billion a year. Customer support, $80 billion a year. Operations, $200 billion a year. Web and tech services, $120 billion. Creative and content, copywriting, design, $150 billion a year. Finance and accounting, coaching, consulting, all over $100 billion a year markets. The opportunity is every single niche here, every single service is going to need to become agentic. For us, we focus primarily marketing, lead gen, sales, and the creative and content side of things. And of course, a little bit on the integration side. Everything else, we leave it alone because the number one thing that businesses always want is more growth. So we want to align with the thing that is always in high demand, right? All of these businesses have no clue how to actually make it operational. So we not only help them make more money, but we also help them have AI in their operations. Does it all make sense? Everything that I went through, use AI to find the truth, use AI to build the infrastructure, and then have agents automate everything that you would do in your operations. Now that we've built this infrastructure and platform, I now understand the quote from Sequoia's partner, Pat Grady. 2 years ago, they made this presentation and said, we may be standing at the precipice of the single greatest value creation opportunity mankind has ever known. And when investors speak in terms of value creation, they're essentially talking about making money. Because he or she who creates the most amount of value makes the most amount of money. Look at Elon. He's sending satellites, internet into space, wanting to build data centers into space. He has electric cars. He has the best compute data centers for more better than most LLMs have. And he's selling it back to them, renting it back to them, to Anthropic. And the guy's worth hundreds of billions of dollars, right? He's building the most amount of value. But what they meant here is that AI is coming for every single niche, vertical, and service with the only goal to replace the human workflow with an AI workflow. The only way to thrive, not just survive in this new AI era, is to embrace it fully by becoming an AI architect, or what I like to call an AI growth architect. And like one of the quotes that I love from Buffett and Charlie Munger is, all I want to know is where I'm going to die, so I'll never go there. Okay? And the whole idea around what we do as a business is to avoid failure Because if we've avoided long enough, we win by default. Everyone on today's workshop really has a choice, and one choice, really. It's simple. You're either cooking with AI or you're cooked, right? Hence the name, Try Cook AI. This simply means that you do not stand a chance against someone who's operating with the leverage and luck provided by the platform or by an operating system like we've built. After witnessing everything I've shared with you today, you can either do nothing and go back to your old routine because you're telling yourself, I'll wait and see if this all unfolds and figure it out then, or you can decide to go all in on this new adventure with the mindset of, if it does unfold and I'm part of the leaders in this new reality, it will be impossible for me to lose. Because 99% of business owners know what they need to do to grow, but you just don't have enough money, enough time to do it all yourself. And now today, you can literally plug a YouTube video transcript and build an AI employee that runs your sales team, your marketing, with an agent without you having to hire a media buyer. Do you guys now understand the potential of AI and how it will change the landscape of how we scale businesses? Do you now understand the reason behind the AI race? Why it's not just a local or a people wanting to make money with AI, it's a global race. China, US, they're all going at it as to who is going to win it, pouring hundreds of billions of dollars in infrastructure, in startups to make sure that they don't lose. And that this has nothing to do with enter a business where you sell AI or little AI automations or tools, but instead position yourself to enter a game where you own the next frontier of value creation that does all the work for you and your clients. It's a race to owning digital labor, because all wealth in the future is definitely not going to be created by humans working. It's going to be, how many agents do you have working? How much value are they providing for your clients? And in exchange, you make money. Is it fair to say that using insights I covered today, it's unreasonable for everyone watching this not to have a significant edge over their competition? If we parted ways right now and you were left to your own devices to go off and do this on your own, it would be a worthy ideal to pursue if that was your only option. But today, it isn't. As I've said, I've made it my mission to empower you and give you the leverage to make it unreasonable for you not to win. And like the famous quote from Archimedes said, give me a lever long enough and a fulcrum on which to place it, and I shall move the world. Today, I'd like to give you guys the lever and the fulcrum on which to place it, not just so you can move your world, but move the world of everyone that you love. Our mission is really simple. I foresee the next 5 years having a TryCook AI becoming the agentic and growth infrastructure that empowers founders to generate 9 figures a year in revenue through the agents that we build on our platform. And we had this venture firm founder say, he sees Cook as the premier market intelligence platform to de-risk entrepreneurship. De-risking entrepreneurship would reduce the access to capital gaps. And that's what we want to do. In a world where everyone is falling for the AI hype, getting distracted by 5 new tools every day, we focus on solving for the main 3 challenges and bottlenecks that keep every founder, every natural born leader from experiencing the growth and vision they set out to achieve on day one. Which is problem number 1, being in the wrong market or being in the right market, but selling the thing that the market no longer wants. Bottleneck number 2, not having a leveraged way to fulfill and just simply becoming a glorified freelancer that's trading time for money. Third thing, not having a predictable acquisition system that doesn't rely on your sweat equity. If you have to wake up every morning asking yourself, where's your next client's going to come from? Where's your next appointment is going to come from? It's not going to work. No entrepreneur in their right mind would take the level of risk they take every day if the guaranteed outcome was to remain average or enslaved to one's business. If you're not going to go for it all, entrepreneurship is not a path most people should follow. No matter the amount of people online that says you can win. No. This path is hard if you don't solve the leverage part, but also choosing the right game to play in the first place. We build this AI infrastructure with the one goal of democratize what gets you insights and leverage the same way that the 1% does it in any vertical, in any market. We validated it with client acquisition.io and our clients, and we're ready to share it with the world. Our mission is really simple. By the way, guys, it's 3 steps. We build your 7-figure offer and growth infrastructure, help you get clients, which really means help you get capital, help you make money, but most importantly, help you acquire data and unique insights, proprietary data that isn't accessible to anyone else but you, in the specific niches that you're serving. We then work with you in productizing it and scaling it past $5 to $10 million a year. So phase one, pick the market, build the offer, build the acquisition. Phase two, collect the data and productize your own playbook. Let's say you want to serve a cleaning niche. Let's say you're serving roofers. Let's say you're serving agencies. Let's say you're serving coaches. Let's say you're serving software companies. Let's say it doesn't really matter who you serve. Step one, perfect. What is the thing we're going to sell them? How are we going to acquire them as clients? Once you start fulfilling, how are we going to document and productize it? Last step, how can we get agents doing all of the work on your behalf? Really simple. If you guys know that this is the right partnership and infrastructure that you need to go and create the success you know you deserve, as we've already validated in every single market, in the Dubai market, in the Spanish market, in the US market, selling to practices in the UK, selling to info product coaches, consultants, selling to med spa, selling to real estate, selling to law firms, selling to HVAC, all the way to e-com. And you want to skip all the guessing, time wasted pursuing the wrong opportunities, and have your lack of skills no longer be the reason why you can't make things happen for yourself. Let me share it. So, TriCook AI Agentic Growth Transformation Partnership. I don't know if you guys saw this, but on May 11th, both OpenAI and Anthropic launched a implementation deployment company. So they launched a new arm of their business besides the chatbot to launch a deployment implementation AI services company. Why? Because they understood that, and this is a realization that we also had 7 to 8 months in the last 7 to 8 months of TriCook, is that it's almost impossible for one person to understand, but most importantly, squeeze all the value out of an AI operating system. Whether that be Claude Code, whether that be ChatGPT's Codex, it's impossible for you to hand someone who doesn't have all the insights, all the depth, all the experience to get the most amount of value from AI. Because AI is simply a mirror. It will mirror back what you know. If you have yet to build $1 million a year business, what's the likelihood that you're going to ask the right questions to AI? Really low. If all you know is to work a 9 to 5, work 40 hours a week and make 3, 4, 5 grand, 7K per month, how are you gonna use AI to make you $7,000 a week or $7,000 a day? It doesn't work like that. So for us, we've been doing this, and that's why why we built TriCook, which is we pivot to an agentic growth transformation partner model where we actually use our system on behalf of the clients to set up the new infrastructure and workflows required for them to reach the next level of growth they're seeking. Unlike every system out there, we do not hand you the thing and expect that you're going to somehow start making money. That's not going to work like that. So instead, we become your partner and build everything for you. And as always, to make this possible, to make this level of implementation possible, we cap each cohort to 5 partners at a time. That allows us to give every business a white glove onboarding experience and actually help install this operating system and help them grow in their business properly. But it also has we also have a different reason why we do it. I have this ridiculous goal of mine, which is I want to be able to validate that one person can go from 0 to $1 million a year, but not just $1 million a year, but eventually scale past $1 million a month, which is building an 8-figure company, running a fully agentic firm as a one-person business. And with these cohorts and with these partnerships, our goal is to document every step of the way so that we can actually build this case study. So here is how it works. TriCook AI implementation and growth journey. Phase 0, really simple. Before anything gets built or launched, you're paired with a dedicated team designed to remove friction and de-risk execution. A lead implementation partner who works with you one-on-one, a success manager focused on growth, on progress, results, and accountability, right? And a team of specialized experts are available as needed. If you need help with media buying, if you need help with systems, if you need help with automations, if you need help with your offer, if you need help with auditing your sales call and see if the sales is happening, you have access to all of these experts, consultants given to you in a private one-on-one channel, helping you get clarity. Phase 1, Phase 0, we align on what are your goals and revenue targets. Are you already in business? What is your market? What is your positioning? If not, we figure out what should be the market and positioning. The growth strategy we're going to be implementing inside Cook AI, the milestones we want to hit together. Some people want to hit their first 10K per month. Some people want to hit their first 100 grand a month, right? Then we go ahead and build and set up the Cook AI workspace and the right experts assigned to support your specific growth plan. This is phase 0. It allows us to have clarity, us and you, of course, remove risk, and set the foundation for a successful launch. That's phase 0. Phase 1, we then go ahead and pick the right game. With the data we get from you during the onboarding process, we start doing research on your behalf. Of course, we're not just doing it in a way that you're not involved. We do the research, but we also show you, you get access to the system, so you can actually do research on your own. But we want to do it on our end to find the best performing offers, the best performing markets. First of all, we don't just actually just use AI. We also look at our database of all the markets that we're in, and based on your own background, we try to align what's something that might have the highest likelihood of success. But then we go ahead and leverage our fleet of agents to find what success looks like in the markets and the offers that we're interested in pushing with you. Okay. We then present you with an offer, a market that has the highest likelihood or the highest viability. This process allows us to guarantee that we avoid the thing that keeps every entrepreneur stuck. Trying to sell the wrong thing to the wrong market at the wrong time, having any of them wrong makes success a grind, and we want to avoid it for you before we begin. Instead, we want to find the market that's already spending money, the solution they're buying, and the competitor who's already selling it and how they're selling it. On and one-on-one call. So one-on-one, we present to you the roadmap, and we ask you to approve if it aligns with your goals. Once it aligns, everything is clear for you. Then we move to phase 2. Phase 2 is when we build your 7-figure AI growth engine. This is the part that keeps every founder stuck, even when they're in the right opportunity, the right vehicle. Whether you have a good offer, a good market, or both, most founders try to piece things together, one variable at a time. They're like, oh, I'm going to try to do the thing that has the least amount of, that requires the least amount of effort or risk. And I'm going to put together maybe a cold outreach campaign. I'm going to cold outreach, to 10, 20, 30, 50 businesses a day. Oh, I'm going to post one piece of content per week and I'm going to see if I get clients. Oh, I'm going to have 2 ad creatives. Guys, I'm sure you guys see the amount of hours you guys spend online and the amount of content and noise there is. Doing your 2-3 hours of outreach per day, spending $10, $20 a day on ads on 2 creatives is just simply not going to cut it. We're bombarded with the billions of assets per day. The only way to win, flood the system yourself and drive that attention back to your offer. So before we start generating attention though, you need a system to convert that attention into leads, appointments, and money. So we put together the system, the offer, the sales asset, the systems, your lead flow infrastructure, your appointment setting infrastructure, all of it with you, the systems on the back end, your CRM, all that good stuff. Then once we have the infrastructure laid out, we then go into AI creatives. We want to flood AI creatives for your offer, for your ads, so you don't have to worry about necessarily being in front of a camera, and you can actually have all the attention you need just fully with AI creative. It's simply impossible to compete for attention without leveraging AI content today. And I don't know if you guys saw, but Hormozi just released a video today around how to compete in the world of AI content. And he shared this, so there is this kind of like spectrum, which is AI is going to attack not all businesses equally. If you sell to consumers, if you have a business, let's say you're running a local service business that sells to consumers, homeowners, roofing, all that good stuff, you can actually use AI to get customers. You don't need to be the founder in front of a camera doing all the yapping. Same thing. We want to be able to go after markets where we don't need to be in front of a camera, or where we don't need to require the founder to be in front of a camera. We've built our AI content engine to the point that we're able to output the visual, but most importantly, the messaging that gets a perfect, ideal customer to stop. Once we're built that and we see a creative working well organically, then we amplify it with ads. We have this client who spent $1,000 on ads on just a 30-second reel on Instagram and got 316 new followers, so 316 new leads, messaged all of them, booked 29 calls, 19 of them showed up on a sales call, and he closed 12 of them. but on average, he was selling to insurance agents, so it wasn't necessarily charging a lot of money. He was only charging $2,500 per client, but he made $16,000 out of $1,000 in ads. This infrastructure is responsible for every single client that is booking hundreds of sales calls per month, charging the money that they need to charge to actually be able to afford fulfillment, have the profits they need, and afford to acquire clients, because paid ads require money. And we want to actually find the money to spend on ads from the margins that your first client pays you. If a client pays you $9,000, you can take $1,000 out of this and go acquire 2-3 more clients with that same spend. This complete engine is built for you, every layer connected, delivering you leads and appointments on autopilot. You're not watching tutorials, you're not going through a course, you're not hiring 5 different contractors for paid ads, creative funnels, copy, and nurturing sequences. We build it all, we launch it all. It's all based on real data from hundreds of companies that we have scaled. Once you have lead flow, appointments, and you're getting deals closed, we then go into phase 3, which is the actual agentic transformation. Right now, you're probably the bottleneck on your own business. Every deliverable, every client interaction, every operational decision flows through you or someone you're paying to do it. You hire people to execute work. When you've already figured it out, you train them, they leave, you train the next one, your margins shrink. We want to end this cycle permanently. You sit down with an engineer and map out your entire operation, every workflow, every process, every repetitive task that takes up most of your time. We identified the ones that's costing you the most, the workflow that if it ran without you would change everything about what your weeks look like. And then we build it together. We extract your skills and how you do work and codify it into specific capabilities that agents can run. Your judgment, your standards, your decision logic, document and turn into something an AI employee can run. Step number 2, turn it into a recipe, which is essentially a sequence of how to leverage the skills to get the job done while having quality checks built in. Once you have the skills, you can create recipes, which are essentially workflows, and you can assign it to an AI employee that does all the work whenever you want it. And of course, we also take care of integrating all the integrations tools that you would use in your business, so you don't have to only be stuck with what we have. And last but not least, we create your custom AI employees, assign it to the workflow and the skills that you're running, and you start getting an AI agent doing all of the work in your operations. By the end of phase 3, you don't just have one workflow off your plate, you have something far more valuable. You now have the scale to do this for every other workflow in your business and to do it for your clients. You've watched us extract the skills. You've watched us build the recipes. You've seen us how we set criterias and QA. We've built all the integrations. Now you can walk into any business, whether that be your own or your clients, and understand how they do work and replace it with an agentic workflow assigned to an AI employee. This is when the agentic world opens up to you. You stop selling time, you start selling outcomes, and you deliver with agents. You can charge $5,000 to $15,000 to set up the infrastructure, and then charge them monthly $1,500, $3,000 a month for outcomes. It could be for creatives. It could be to manage their ads, and assign it to an AI employee that costs you close to nothing. Phase 1 unlocks the vehicle. We build the demand in phase 2. Phase 3 builds the architecture and infrastructure to fulfill, scale, and sell without adding people, overhead, and complexity that kills most service businesses. FYI, while we're building all of this, we're also doubling down on skill transfer. We want you to also be involved in the building of things. Every single client that we speak with is not working with us just so we can build everything for them. They're actually wanting to upskill themselves and their own team. So they're always like, hey, I don't just want you to do it for me. I also want to learn how it's done. Because the opportunity here is to also acquire skills that make you invaluable to other people. Not just to have something built and AI does all the things, but you don't even understand anything that it does. But we do this after we've built the assets because there are just so much things that you need to actually learn to leverage and actually start using. So we don't necessarily want to start here, but solve the revenue, the lead flow, the infrastructure, then you can spend more time mastering all the skills, all the features, all the workflows in the operating system. All of this while still being able to charge a premium for your services. At no point do you ever get commoditized because you can just do so much for a business. You're not just a one-trick business. You can actually go into a business, understand, hey, your offer is wrong, your ICP is wrong, your ads are broken, your content is broken, your sales process is broken, because you can find the truth, find who's doing it better than them, and lay out the playbook to help them grow. And that allows you to still be able to charge the kind of money that never makes you a commodity. Now, what is the cost? So there's two costs. There's what it costs me to build all of this in cost in terms of talent, systems, and data. And if you guys can see my P&L from the last 2 years in 2024, our cost of goods sold was $3 million. In 2025, we got a little bit, we saved a little bit of money. It was 2.8 million. And what our clients normally pay us to build this fully done for you is 25 grand, 5K per month, and 15% of the upside, which is still 100th of the $2.83 million that I pay yearly to have this infrastructure to be able to deliver this. Hence why a client would rather save on this and pay 25K, but to access the same infrastructure. For our 6-month agentic transformation offer, the price is $15,300 and 15% of the upside above your current baseline, okay? Which is different from the normal service that we have. We have 8,000 people on the wait list. Everybody want to use Cook because they expect it to be another Claude Code or another Lovable. It's not going to be that. We chose to go the operating system route as we realized that everyone was building AI tools that just give people dopamine and gets them distracted. Instead, we focused on orchestrating multiple agent systems to solve money problems. Revenue generating problems is the only thing that people are always going to be willing to trade money for. Since this is our first cohort for this agentic transformation, and our real goal is to get everyone generating enough revenue for our revenue share to be remarkable. If you sign up today before midnight and get one of the 5 available seats, we want to do something pretty special. We want to give you an incentive and a reward for your speed and allow you to get only started for $7,800, which takes care of the setup. We build your AI growth engine in the first 4 weeks, 8 weeks of management, and after 90 days, the system should be generating you qualified sales calls and allow you to make back your initial investment. Once we've made back your initial $7,800 setup fee, preferably you have to make more than that, but we have a baseline of at least in 90 days making you back your investment. Then we go into the growth partnership begins, where we ask 15% of the upside we help create. The 15% upside matches whatever your baseline. So if you're already doing 20K per month, we do not take 15% of the 20K per month. We only ask 15% of whatever we add on top of the 20K per month. Our idea in this 90 days is let's build the offer, let's build the growth engine, let's help you have a scalable fulfillment for $7,800 and then start making you money. And then we get partnered up on the upside. Once you have the right infrastructure, once you're in the right market, once you have leads, once you have clients flowing, then we can actually get ready to scale. You also get 6 months of TryCook AI license included. So you get to use for 6 months. You don't have to, guess you can use everything on Cook without any extra cost. Use it to launch offer, use it to fulfill for clients, as if you had a $5 million infrastructure. But most importantly, help us build and improve features for you to have infinitely more leverage. The beautiful part about this way that we support our clients is if you need something built for yourself or for your clients, we're going to build it. You help us make the system infinitely better than what it currently is, and allows you to not have to hire a bunch of growth consultants, buy more coaching programs, buy more courses, buy more tech stack tools, software, agencies. You don't even have to build a team that costs you your margins. You also get 6 months of community access along all of the clients we have. Not all of them are necessarily running AI offers, but all of them are pivoting to either having an agentic way of fulfilling an AI base of acquiring clients, or they just completely want to pivot and get into something where they're actually selling AI to businesses instead of being stuck in the business models that they're in that just keep them stuck. You get access to 15 plus weekly support calls. So there's a call 8 to 9 a.m. There's another call at noon, and there's another call afternoon. So every single day you have multiple support calls for whenever you have an issue. if you're dealing with your ads, if you're dealing with the sales issues, if you're dealing with a fulfillment issue. 3 calls a day available to help you with experts. You have access to 100 hours of growth consulting playbooks, and you access this community where we do workshops, masterminds every quarter in person, which is about to start. One is coming up very soon here in Montreal, Canada. I need to clarify the sign-up process. We want to speak and vet every single person to make sure that this is the right thing for you, for your current situation, and for your goals. But most importantly, to make sure that we have what it takes to help you achieve your desired outcome. We cannot make miracles happen. We are good at certain things, but we're not good at everything. Okay? Which means that we have to vet and speak with every single person. So every person has to apply and speak with an advisor today, because I don't think we need more than today to onboard the 5 partners. But normally what happens is when we open up the ability for people to apply, we end up with a flooded calendar. Okay? To avoid this, or to help people who actually want to skip the line, we've created the opportunity for 10 people who are interested to lock in their seat out of the 5 kind of like partners to be able to put down a refundable deposit. This refundable deposit, $1,000, the way that it works is it allows you to skip and be prioritized when speaking with an advisor. But most importantly, if ever you're not able to speak with someone today, it guarantees that you still have a seat in the cohort at the price of this cohort. So it allows you to be able to, because whenever someone speaks afterwards, they're like, hey, is the offer still available? I want to get in. Did I miss it? If you have this deposit, you're able to speak with someone in a priority. But most importantly, you get on a call, you lay out your plan, you lay out what you think we can help you with. The advisor lays out the path that we can help you with. If it makes sense, you pay the difference. If it does not, we refund you your money and you go back to doing what you were doing before. But this allows us to either understand and you pay the difference, show you the roadmap. If we cannot help you, we're going to refund you your $1,000. You don't have to worry about it, but it allows you to secure your seat, one of the 5 seats that are available for this cohort. And you're also going to be able to speak with someone in priority. We're only taking calls today and tomorrow for anyone who wants to claim the $7,800 setup offer. Last time we did this, we're booked out for the whole week, hence why we started asking and offering people to be able to put a deposit down. After we onboard the 5 partners, or until tomorrow midnight, the price goes back to $15,300 for the build and for the transformation. We always get important questions from people, which is, do we have payment options? The answer is yes. If you want to apply and make sure that you're able to afford them, you can apply through the link in the chat. We're going to walk you through the payment options and make it so that you can afford to actually maybe split up payments over a few months. Second question, do we have financing options available? The answer is also yes. If you truly believe that what I presented today has everything needed to solve all the obstacles that you're currently experiencing, and that the only thing that would keep you from signing up is lack of funds, of not being able to pay the whole setup fee. Well, if you have a credit score of 600 points or more, we can help you get financing and help you split up the payments. So if you're below that, sorry, can't really help you guys, but if you do, then we can get to work ASAP. Same thing, apply for a call. For anyone who wants to put the deposit down, and make sure you book your slot before we close down this session, as we'll take the offer and the calendar down. We're not done. I always like to over deliver for the founders who are willing to invest and bet on themselves. If you're part of the first 3 people to get started today, here is some of the bonuses you're going to get. You're going to get access to my AI team. So everyone stuck below $1 million a year will never say this out loud, but they're still doing everything themselves. Not because they want to, because they have not been able to find someone who thinks the way they think, moves the way they move, or cares the way they care. So you stay in the middle, stuck in every single function of your business. Marketing, sales, client success, content, every single thing runs through you. And the sad part is most people think the answer is to work harder or hire faster, but you cannot hire your way out of being a bottleneck when you cannot afford people who think at the level you need to be thinking at. So for the first 3 partners who join this cohort, we're going to build you an AI executive team that focuses on the top 3 most important roles, which is ads, sales, content, specifically built by me and added to your workspace. We're going to give them the judgment of someone who runs a 7 to 8 figure operation. Even if you have never been there yourself, your AI employees will think like someone who has. And that's the beautiful part about having someone else who's further down the journey be building your agents, almost like building your AI team or your employee team based on the success that they've seen, right? And because they're built on your data, your clients, and your market, they do not stay the same. They get better, they longer, they run. To hire this team costs you 300 grand, $500,000 a year minimum. Most founders cannot afford that. So we're going to plug them in. You're going to be able to speak with them on Cook or on your Discord or your Slack. And you're going to be able just to have AI employees just cooking for you. We're building you the team as part of this cohort once you have the infrastructure, of course, once you have leads, appointments, and sales and clients, as it needs data to function. Only for the first 3 people who join this cohort. Another thing is the support in the private chat is only capped to 3 months. So normally this is gated to the partners that pay the 25K. So for everyone who's joining this cohort, you're going to get access to 3 full months of private one-on-one support in your private channel. The next thing that's pretty cool with Cook AI is we're able to build snapshots of the businesses that are already proven, the offers, the ads, the sales script, every single thing on Cook, which allows us to do what? When we get on the onboarding call, we'll open up our vault to you and suggest you a few markets and a few businesses and a few infrastructures, and you get to pick which one you want to start with and you want to replicate. And this allows you to be able to skip having to build things yourself, waste time, and you just start with a proven offer and assets ready to launch and start generating leads and sales. Next bonus, cold email infrastructure. We built this entire platform and playbook around ads as the primary way to get clients, and we stand by that. Ads are still the fastest path to predictable flow of leads and appointments when you have capital ready to be deployed. But not everyone starts from the same place. Some people want to necessarily are ready to run ads from day one. Others want to land their first client and use that money to fund their campaigns and scale from there. Both work. We just realized that we're only solving for one of them. So for this cohort, we're including something we've never offered before, a complete cold email acquisition infrastructure for your specific niche. You get a verified list of specific leads in your market, domain warmup done for you, tested sequence built around your offer, and a system that sends emails on autopilot and books appointments directly into your calendar without you having to lift a finger. You get the full infrastructure, and what this allows you to do is allows you to get your first few calls, get your first few clients, and use the budget you get from your first few deals to reinvest into ads. We recommend everyone races to ads, and preferably every single client we do ads infrastructure first. But if you're not ready for ads, you're open to leveraging a more organic way of acquiring, which is cold email, right? We have clients already, sending like 500 emails a day, sending 500 looms a day, closing $2,000 clients here and there, and being able to $2,000 per month for 6 months, so $12,000 deal. And they can use that budget to reinvest into ads and scale faster. So another bonus that we wanted to have is if you are an existing operator of a specific service business and you're trying to figure out a way to leverage AI into your business, we're going to help you solve it in your business by getting AI in Cook AI, our operating system, to actually help you grow, right? Once we've helped you grow with AI agents, helping you with your marketing, helping you with your sales, helping you with everything, we then want to take the infrastructure that we built for you and then go sell it to other operators in your market. Every operator in your industry has the same exact problem, and they'll pay you to fix it for them because they'll trust you before they trust a marketing firm. And the reason why this is a more leverage opportunity than what you're currently doing, and why we probably suggest you solve it and then go sell the mechanism, is because of all the companies that we've worked with, some of the fastest case studies are when someone already has experience in a niche, and we just essentially go back and sell to the niche that they have experience with. So we had Joanne and Jemima we worked with last year. They had been running a studio, a gym, EMS, electromuscle stimulation studio, scale it to 7 figures. But as you guys know, it's really hard to run these businesses. So they shut them down and entered the online space. And they came to us when they were interested into AI and how they can incorporate it into their business. And we said, hey, by the way, we're happy to put together an offer to help other studios, show you guys the AI systems to implement into their business, and you guys can run the playbook that you guys have. And we launched their offer, booked 9 sales calls in the first few weeks, 4 weeks, and they closed 5 clients out of the 8 sales calls they got on. And they built a 25K a month business in 4 weeks. Try to make 25K a month. I try to add an extra 25K per month in a service-based business that's physical, and you're going to crumble. But in an online business, you're not capped, especially if it's AI enabled. So I would like to double down on this. Next thing is, if you are busy, you don't have time to manage your leads as they come in, and you know that you're not necessarily going to be able to take care of speed to lead, we're going to be placing an AI setter as a bonus into your business. What this means is you could be at work, you could be busy, you could be on client calls, you could be on all of these, whatever keeps you busy. And we're going to plug an AI WhatsApp setter, an AI SDR that reaches out to all of your leads.
How does it feel to have the thing just kind of
just
do
like this
like
client?
It's so crazy.
Like you don't know how to do shit, bro.
Yeah, like literally, I don't have my WhatsApp notifications on during like work times, so like 3 to maybe 6. So I'll have no idea this is going on, and the next thing you know, my Gmail notifications are on. I'll get a notification, oh, so and so is booked in, and I'm like, yo, what's going on? Like, this is it's so crazy. Like, I literally be sleeping or doing something crazy, and then I'll wake up and be like, oh, I've got 3 appointments booked in the coming days. Yeah.
This client works in mergers and acquisition, and we built this AI kind of like setter to essentially handle all the leads that were coming from ads, book them in automatically without him, literally even knowing what's happening. And what's cool about this is that if they no show to your appointment, the AI will re-engage them and rebook them on your calendar without you even noticing it. So this means that all the leads get booked with an AI agent on your behalf. Next bonus is, before we built our operating system, we were building a lot of different AI SDR agents, a lot of systems that we would actually manually build into these businesses. And you're going to get access to our library of these AI solutions so that you can plug and play them into your clients' businesses. These are already pre-built. You don't have to figure out anything. And this is like systems that you would have to pay an integrator for like $7,000 here, $7,000 there, pay someone $5,000, $6,000. So you get to just skip all of this and just have it pre-built, and you just have to implement them. But the biggest challenge everyone will face is not knowing how to integrate most of these AI systems themselves. So as we were preparing for this workshop, we started training AI systems integrators. So for the first movers, the first 3 people, you guys are going to get access to our pool of AI integrators that will essentially implement the systems on your behalf for your clients. All you have to focus on, go close deals, get on sales calls, close clients, charge them $5,000, $9,000, and then just let us know and get an AI, get the entire thing implemented for $1,000, $1,500, and you get to keep all the, 50, 70, 80% margins, and you don't have to worry about fulfillment. Clients prefer this because what this allows them to do is they're able to go into verticals that they may not necessarily have experience in. They get to skip the need to hire a contractor on Fiverr or Upwork that they do not trust, and they just leverage our proven systems and our process of implementing them, and it's done for them. Bonus number 6, you're going to get access to our head of engineering. Only 3 people. Of course, this is we can't necessarily offer this to everyone. As most of you guys know, if you guys have spent a lot of time on AI, the gap isn't necessarily AI, it's the architecture. Nobody's teaching founders how to break a workflow into skills, sequence those skills into a recipe, set the criteria, and actually be able to have autonomous work. Austin, our head of engineering, gets on a call with you personally, maps out your operations, identifies every workflow that's eating up your time, scores them by leverage and automation potential, then builds you a personalized roadmap, which workflows to turn into recipes first, what the sequence build looks like, where the highest leverage seats, and how to get from where you are to a fully agentic operation. This is the same roadmap that a consulting firm would probably charge you 10, 25K. You're going to get it as a bonus, and you're going to walk away from this session with a clear prioritized map of your entire operation and exactly what to focus on first. And last but not least, The first 3 people to sign up get a one-on-one call with me after you have put together your offer, once you have lead flow, once you have clients, no, once you have appointments, so that I can actually go deeper on your current bottlenecks and help you see the next phase. Last but not least, we have a guarantee, of course. If you're considering working with us, it's probably because you already know that the way you're operating today has to change. You're fully convinced that AI isn't a trend, it's the future operating layer for how real businesses is built and scaled. And at this point, belief isn't a risk anymore, execution is. Even with the right platform, with the right playbooks, and the right opportunity, there is still one fear that most people never say out loud, which is, what if I don't pull it off? Not because the system doesn't work, not because the opportunity isn't there, but because execution can break down. Instead of a standard money back guarantee, we created something different. No one will make sense of investing to work with us if what they care about is 7,800. Most people will make that bet because they care about the potential that can occur from us becoming a partner and serving them. So what we want to do is, a refund doesn't move you forward, results do. So what we want to guarantee is that after we've put together your offer, gotten you lead flow, gotten you sales, if in the first 4 weeks of work of implementing in 90 days, you have not made back your investment, we do not disappear, we do not refund you. Instead, we step in and close the leads and the appointments for you. If you're struggling with generating leads, we step in and get you the leads for you. What this allows us to do is, it allows us to not give up on the customer, on the client, just because there is a bottleneck that they are struggling with and that they can't figure out. And the reason why this is doable is because 80% of everything that we build can be completed in less than 24 to 48 hours. And the only thing that makes this process take longer is like building the systems, warming up the accounts. But once everything is set up, we have access to a library of almost 1,000 deals that are closed. If you're struggling with lead gen, we come in, take care of lead gen. If you're struggling with appointments, we come in, take care of appointment setting. If you're struggling with implementation, let's see what the bottleneck is and let's put someone in to solve it for you and remove you from costing yourself the success that you've been looking for. And of course, we're willing to take the risk because all we need to do is get you one client worth 7.8K to make back your investment, which we're capable of doing in 12 weeks easily. Okay. All of this, either 90 days, 4 weeks, we put together the infrastructure, 8 weeks of optimizing it. If in 90 days you haven't made back your ROI, what's the bottleneck? What's the constraint in your business? Perfect. Move out the way. You're not able to close deals? Cool. Let's put a closer who can actually sell this, who's already sold this infinite amount of times. You're struggling with lead gen? Perfect. Move away. Let's manage your ads. You're struggling with appointment setting? Perfect. What's going on here? Let's put together either a setter or an AI agent that takes care of all of your appointments. We want to fully make it unreasonable for people now to achieve the outcome that they invested for. Not just treat everybody with these crazy guarantee claims, which is like, oh, if you don't make your money, we're going to pay. No, it's like, we're not going to give up. We're going to work and get the work done that you initially invested and took the risk for, right? And that's how we do business. And we want to get everybody having agents, all the workload on Cook. And the only way to do that is to help you make money and become successful. And that becomes inevitable for us to actually hit our long-term goal.